Hey, what's up guys? Phoenix here. This video is going to be another YGOpro duel video, and this time I'm playing with the ABC deck now that the deck has been released. Now I'm going to be playing multiple games against my friend in this video, and ultimately going to be seeing how this deck matches up against, certain different matchups over the course of the next couple of days, potentially. Now this build specifically, it's not the exact build, but it is modeled after a build that got top 8 at, I think, a Houston or, Texas regional. This past weekend. It's pretty linear, but then again, most of the builds that have been doing semi-well are pretty linear because that just kind of makes the deck a bit stronger and more streamlined. Although it does make it more fragile, but that's something to discuss at a later date. But this deck has multiple hand traps. It has Gam Seals to be pretty decent against the mirror going second. All that sort of stuff. There's a lot of different things that this deck has in it. But like I said, it's modeled off of it. It's not an exact deck list copy. It's modeled off of it. There's only a couple of changes though, just to be something that I wanted to just change around, like putting Raigeki in and cutting because the original build was playing 3 of each gadget and stuff like that. But anyway, I've not done any recording since YCS Minneapolis, since before YCS Minneapolis. I haven't recorded anything in literally 2 weeks. And so I need to start making daily content again because I've been really busy with work, and school has started for me again. So I'm in school for electrical engineering, doing that nonsense. That eats up a lot of my time as well as just some different relationships and family stuff. It's just been eating away at all of my time since I got back from Minneapolis. So there definitely is that, but should be able to start doing daily content again, at least for this foreseeable future of the next couple weeks or a month. It all depends on how things go. But anyway, enough of that rambling on. Let us just jump straight into the first game, shall we? And just see kind of what happens. Alright, so like I probably said in the previous part of the video, I have no idea. I don't remember. Don't know what I said yet because it hasn't been filmed yet. I'm playing a more standard build based off what has gotten top spots at regionals and stuff like that. Well, not really standard, but it's definitely just a build that I saw that I kind of liked, but this hand sucks. And that's kind of a problem. But I'm going to set this and set strike. I've got double Veiler and a strike, so he's not going to resolve anything, I guess. But the issue I have with this deck is that it's very, very, very cookie cutter. And if you just if you don't do your linear plays, then you just have nothing really to show for it. I'm just gonna let that sovereignty resolve. I don't care. The scepter can. Oh my goodness. Well, I'll be able to strike the summon of his dude. I don't know what he's playing yet. He's probably playing Herald. Actually, if I think about it. If I think about it from a logistical standpoint, he's probably just playing Herald because that's the only real deck in the format that plays these cards. Yeah, this deck is just incredibly linear, and that's the issue I really have with it. But striking this Deltaros seems valuable, even though he is still at 5 cards and I have gone down to 3, because Sovereignty is just an amazing card in how it allows you to replace your combo piece. So Norden, and I'm going to Veiler the Norden. We'll just do this. Veiler Norden, and that way, yeah, he's playing Herald. Okay, so prep for Herald of Perfection, and Dawn of the Herald. Does he have Benton? He does have the Benton. Okay, so this game is probably not winnable for me at this point, unless, well, no, he's not doing anything to kill this, which is actually very much in my favor, because that means I get to make Utopia the Lightning and just attack over the Herald. But he could just easily establish another one next turn, potentially, but all depends on how many fairies he has. Now, I don't know what this card in his hand is. I don't believe I should have knowledge about what that card in his hand is. I like how I just went from talking about how linear this ABC deck is, or at least trying to talk about how linear it is, to just immediately starting to analyze the cards that I know that he could possibly have and things like that, just because that's more fun than playing this deck. This deck is just not really that for the cause. But so he added a Scepter. So Scepter and Benton. I'm surprised that he added Scepter. But I mean, hey, might as well be something, right? So let's see. I can normal summon this gold gadget, and I can make Utopia the Lightning with 4 materials and just attack over the Herald. He's got Benton and a Scepter. So unless he has like pre-prep, he's not going to be able to reestablish a Herald of Perfection. So we'll do this and see where it particularly gets us. I'm gonna do the Utopia Prime into Lightning, just because it gives me double 5k status, and then we'll use this thing's effect in damage calc because Herald is being locked underneath it because of the fact that you can't activate stuff until the end of the turn. But that opening hand was really just not optimal by any stretch of the imagination. But I mean, that's why I do 3-game videos. So there is that. If it isn't obvious at this point, or if I haven't outright said it, this is the first video that I've filmed since I've been back from YCS Minneapolis. I literally haven't filmed anything in like 2 weeks, literally 2 weeks, because I've just been really, really busy. And this is the first thing this is the first time that me and Alza's schedules have been able to align to allow us to play together. And I know I could have gone and played like random ranked games and stuff like that, but I'm trying to hold my channel to a bit of, I'm trying to hold it to an improving content sort of mindset. Like I don't want to take a step forward and then take 2 steps back, you know what I'm saying? So I would rather just not produce content rather than downgrade the content I'm producing back to, oh, I'm playing random games. What the fuck is this? Oh, it's Hymn of Light. Okay. So Benton for Saphira, and then Benton allows him to search probably Manju, if he has, Herald of Perfection or Dawn of the Herald in his hand. I know that one card in his hand is a Star Seraph Scepter, and so the other card and he drew Desires, so the other card in his hand is an unknown, as far as I'm aware, because, yeah, it was one of these. So, Scepter should be in your hand. Yeah, okay. So he added Dawn of the Herald and then was forced to basically end turn, because, I mean, there's not really much that's going to be happening here. But Hymn of Light gets to protect this, which is actually really important. So I need to start actually making plays that kill him. that is the key here. Hymn of Light protects that. So I could try and kill it, but it's not an effect that activates, so it just applies its effect. Alright, well, there's a Thrasher. I guess that's kind of alright. I could keep the, let's see, this thing's attack becomes 5,000? Yeah, it becomes 5,000. That's actually very key. Because what that means is I could use this to attack over this, just so that the rank 4 potential is really, really lacking. Since his Norden is already gone as well, Instant Fusion's not a card that could happen there. And if he makes like a rank 6 play into Utopia Beyond, like this thing's attack just becomes 5,000 anyway. So no, I'm not going to attach materials from it. I'm going to keep this with its materials because it's the only wall of defense I have against what's happening currently. So if he goes, like Ritual Sanctuary without activating Dawn of the Herald first, okay, well, never mind. But if he put Ritual Sanctuary up and tried to shuffle back to make a rank 4, then I could just, Twin Twister this. But at the current point, unless he has Ritual Sanctuary, I'm not going to get a rank 4 happen to me. And then he's going to either be making a rank 6, which is either going to be Ptolemy, or it's going to be Utopia Beyond. And Ptolemy is like really the only option. Because Ptolemy is the one that would allow him to bounce this and not have to deal with its attack gain. Now I don't know if he plays Ptolemy in this specific build. That's the thing. I don't know if he plays the card or not. But he's going to attack into this. Oh, that's so smart. I didn't even consider that. He gets to keep that. Both of our cards are not going to die. But he gets to use Hymn of Light to protect this, and now I can't attack over. That's actually really, really smart. I've got to give credit for that one. But now I can just attack over this. I know that he has at least 2 fairies in his hand. He has the Scepter, and he has the Benton. And I don't know if I should know any other cards. I think I should. So he's discarding that. That's terraforming. Yeah, this isn't a good position for me to be in at all. Completely at all, no, nonchalantly not. But then again, my opening hand was really, really bad. That's not something that we can really debate here. My opening hand was absolutely terrible because it didn't have the field spell in it, which is another thing. This deck just relies really heavily on field spell. It relies on Union Hanger really, really heavily, and that's not something that you can really try to like get away from. Now, this deck does have a lot of hand traps in it. It has like the 2 Max C, the 2 Valor, and it's got the 2 Gamma Seals, which, I mean, aren't necessarily hand traps, but they do kind of fall into that category of they are defensive cards meant to, you know, facilitate you having a game plan going second, and they're really good in the mirror. But, like, it's just, they could just be better off as other cards, like, say, Instant Fusions, stuff like that. But those, like, make the deck, you know, more complex in terms of its play lines, and it also makes that worse in the mirror, because in the mirror, you're trying to out Buster Dragon in some way, shape, or form. This game's completely unwinnable for me, so I'm just gonna not waste any time and just go straight into the next game, because hopefully we can open something better like that. That's very good. That is very good indeed. Why do I always open C? This is stupid. Like, I want to open anyone that's not C. That way I could do like A or something like that. But nah, instead I'm playing the always draw C game, and that's not something I'm a fan of, because if I didn't draw the C, then I would have B or A, and then I could add, you know, I could add B per se, and then equip C from deck and special the other one, and that would be really good. But as it stands, it's just, it makes me sad, makes me cry every time. But I do get to do a Tsukiyomi play here, which is really cool. So I guess that's neat. And the Tsukiyomi will discard the C, so I guess that is relevant. But I'm going to be using this to equip B in searching anyway. So there is that. So, that's my official response on the matter, is, But, so we'll do Tsukiyomi here. This deck does really lose very hard to a Valor on the Tsukiyomi here. But, I mean, hey, it's whatever. It is whatever. But we'll add A, just so we have duplicates. We'll set the warning, we'll set the strike. I don't think he can really play through those. Then we'll activate this, detaching the A, discarding those, drawing 2 cards. That's a Pot of Desires. We'll activate that. We drew fuck. Damn. Alright. Well then, let's see. Twin Twisters. All my Twin Twisters are gone, but that's okay. That's not really relevant in this matchup. The other Desires is gone. 1C, 1B is gone. Okay. I'm okay with that completely, 100% of the way. So what we're going to do is we're going to banish these, and we're going to summon this. He gets another plus off of the Max C, but that's fine. There's no anti-spell on this variant, just because I wanted to actually play games. Now you might say, then why is Emptiness in there? Because Emptiness is just a generically very, very good card, even though it is a Floodgate. Like, it involves like a skilled interaction of you have to flip it in specific time frames, or else you might lose to your own Emptiness. Things like that. Like, it's a card that you can lose to as well. Like, Anti-Spell is very, very much a card that only really benefits you and only hurts your opponent. Whereas, you know, other options are not quite as detrimental, i.e. Emptiness. Even though the card is still incredibly unfair, I'm not arguing for Emptiness being a fair card in any way, shape, or form. The thing that I'm saying is that we have these things that I don't even know what I'm trying to say anymore. I don't even fucking know. I'm gonna Valor the fuck out of this Manju though. That I do know, because I've got free cards. So we'll Valor this. The reason Valor's in the deck is because it's a hand trap. It's a trap that you can draw into off of Max C, and that's something that's pretty valuable, especially in the mirror match. Because I keep bringing that up. Like, if they go gold, especially if you're catching them on gold gadget and silver gadget plays. Like, if they go gold gadget into A or something, and then make Tsukiyomi, that's 2 draws for you to potentially have drawn into a Valor. So yeah, if I banish this so he doesn't have any way to out that, and then I've also got these. So like, this is just really linear. There's not really anything else that can be said about it. Like, it's just incredibly linear. And now at this point, I drew a Gamma Seal, and I'm going second against Herald. Yo! I main deck these cards. And this hand is actually not that bad, per se. It's still incredibly linear, as I've already said many times, but I could go Terraforming for Union Hanger, I can play Cupidity, or rather Desires, and then try and draw into Thrasher or Gold Silver Gadget. There's 8 targets in the deck. And then I have Gamma Seal to drop on top of the Herald of Perfection. So, this card is amazing in this matchup specifically, but it's really just being main decked for the mirror match, because if you get to play a lot of mind games with this card when you have it in your deck for the mirror match, because once it happens once, your opponent is going to always remember it for the rest of that match. Like if you play a mirror match, say you lose the die roll, and you're playing the ABC mirror, and your opponent summons Buster Dragon, and you go draw for turn, and you say standby phase, anything, and then you say main phase, and then the first thing you do is drop a Gamma Seal on top of the Buster Dragon, you can mind game your opponent later in the match because of the fact that they know that you have these cards in your deck. And you can just say standby phase, anything, and they'll tag out the Buster Dragon into the 3 little ones so they don't just lose all their resources, because the mirror match is incredibly grindy and value oriented. So at this point, he's resolving Scepter Sovereignty after pre-prepping into Dawn of the Herald and Herald of Perfection, and then, you know, resolving a Benton, all these different good interactions. So the only thing I'm really worried about is if he snipes the Terraforming or the Gam Seal out of my hand. Those are the only cards I'm worried about. I know he has at least 2 negations in his hand, but that doesn't matter per se, because of the fact that if I'm able to drop the Gam Seal over the, you know, Herald of Perfection, then it doesn't matter. I get to pick apart his board, and then hopefully prevent him from establishing again. That is the ideology and the hope. But he has to pop a card with this to get a draw, so probably going to pop Ritual Sanctuary, just because he's already used its effect. And then he'll get to draw another card, and just increasing the amount of unknowns that I know about his hand. Okay, Pot of Desires, I'm okay with that going away. 100% okay with that. Now this, actually, I don't like this. I'm not a fan. Okay, this is how we make this work. Alright, so what we do is we are going to drop, first we're going to drop Gamma Seal over this. And then we're going to activate Terraforming for Union Hanger. We're going to use Union Hanger to add B to hand. To activate? Yes. So we're going to add B to hand here. I'm going to normal summon A, which is going to equip C from deck. I'm going to suicide the A into the Gamma Seal, and then that's going to allow the C that falls off and the A to trigger, like adding cards to the hand and all that nonsense. And then it will allow me to be able to summon Buster Dragon, because it will just allow me to have all the names in circulation on board. So that's going to be what happens here. So we're going to attack into this. It's still not an incredibly like valuable situation in any way, shape, or form, but it is something that's really neat and really cool, because what it allows me to do is it allows me to special summon this A from hand, make a Tsukiyomi, discard these, draw cards, and then everything should be all fine and good with the world, because that dodged the destruction. So yeah, Tsukiyomi. I'm still in a very, very bad position unless I draw some actual like floodgates. Raigeki is pretty good. Not going to pretend that it isn't. I'm going to go ahead and activate it just so that I don't have to like deal with Herald. And then I've got this one card in my hand that I can use. So not optimal by any stretch, but at least I can do something with it. This is just big for the sake of being big, and unless he has, you know, Honest, then there's not really any way he's going to be getting over this. I'm just going to keep it as a body, and that way I can potentially just use like Tsukiyomi and stuff to like get negations out of his hand. That's going to be the thing that we're going to be trying to do. I know he at least has to have a negation in these 4 cards, so we're definitely not going to use the Buster Dragon here. That's that's not something that we're a fan of doing. What did he add off of that? He added a Manju, okay, and the Manju is getting summoned. So yeah, like the only real out to this is him making a rank 6, a rank 4, or Honest. And so whether or not he has rank 4 potential, I've yet to see, because his Ritual Sanctuary is gone. One of them is gone at least. And the other ones could very well be in these banished cards off of Desires, so there's that. So multitudes of factors come into play here. I feel really safe, but I still feel like I'm in the losing position, just because the Herald deck is kind of scary, and that as soon as you let it go unchecked for any specific amount of time, then things get kind of dicey. Can't really say anything else other than, yeah, they just get dicey. They get really bad. But because this is just on my field, I get to continuously try to attack over Herald, because it's 3k, so that's good. And then if I can draw into another one of the cards, one of the ABC cards, then that would be pretty good as well. That would be pretty decent, at least I believe. That's a max C. That's kind of late. Would have loved to have had that a little bit earlier. But I can normal summon this just so that I can keep myself from losing to like a rank 4. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to attack over the Manju, and then I'm going to use this to attack over the... do I want to attack over the Herald, or do I want to attack over Saphira? It forces damage, and at that point it also likely just also forces the hymn out of the grave, because it's something that you kind of want to keep. Yeah, so that's just a better interaction than just slamming into Herald's defense and not doing any damage. So that's just a bit better. It's not too much better. Don't get me wrong. Oh, great. This card. Damn it. That was like the last thing that I wanted to see. But if he doesn't have another level 4 that he can use with it, I don't remember anything about what he has in his hand in terms of level 4 monsters. Because he added a Manju and normal summoned it, and I don't know if there's anything else that I should know about in terms of that. In terms of that being, you know, like if there's a Scepter in here that I should be worried about, because he has already resolved Scepter Sovereignty once. I'm not activating this Max C, by the way, because he can just negate it with Herald of Perfection. So, like, you know, there's the Scepter. Okay. And he has a Sovereignty too. Jeez. Oh my God, that's such a problem. I've got to activate this, and he's going to just negate it. That's like the smartest thing to do. Yeah. Damn. All right. Oh. Oh. I'm not a fan of this situation at all, in the slightest. Why is blue deck always amazing? But yeah, these hands were very, very not the greatest. I'm saying that, but I literally drew Gamma Seal the only game that I went second against Herald, so I can't really complain about that. And it also didn't get sniped. That is another very big important factor, is that there were so many cards in my hand that I didn't care if they got sniped out of my hand, and like Gamma Seal was definitely one of the cards I did not want to get sniped, and it didn't get sniped, and I was like, yeah, got it. But as it stands now, this Deltaros is just going to do that. I'm just going to use this to try and summon these, and like basically just take a card out of his hand. Like that's honestly all it's going to be doing. The only thing I could really do here to try and win this game would be to outright draw B Buster Drake, but I don't even think I get another turn, because he's resolving Instant Fusion Norden, bringing back Scepter, but it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter what he brought back as long as it's just a 4. So he's able to make Utopia into Utopia the Lightning to save a negation, so he doesn't have to negate my Silver Gadget. Damn. I'm getting the diddle. I really love the Herald deck. Like, the Herald deck is a deck that I just really like. I really enjoy playing it, even though it's literally like, don't let your opponent play. But it's a lot more than that. Like, you're able to meld a lot of different boards and board states because of like what the deck is capable of doing. And there's just a lot of different interactions the deck has that if you know more about them than your opponent does, you're just going to get rewarded for it. Like, it's very reminiscent of an old Yu-Gi-Oh! In that way. And that's something I really enjoy. But yeah, this ABC deck that I'm playing with is a list that got like top 8 at like a Houston regional or something. Or like some regional. It got like top 8. It's like a very, very close representation of the same list. I think I changed like 2 cards. It was like I cut 2 gadgets for like 2 other cards. But yeah, it's a pretty valid representation of like what's topping regionals like around the country like right now in multiple countries since this deck has been released. And the deck is just really linear in its current form. I kind of hope that people are able to, you know, evolve the deck further to like kind of break away from its linearness, because there is definitely a lot of potential this deck has with cards, you know, like Instant Fusion, like implementing Soul Charge, implementing other engines as well. Like there's definitely a lot of potential for these cards, but as of right now the deck is being played very linearly, and that makes it very good because it's very streamlined in what it's doing, and it's doing the same thing multiple times, but it also makes it very fragile, and if it's not doing its thing every game, then that's the problem. But anyway, that's enough rambling on for that, and for this video, I guess that's going to be it for the game. So as always, guys, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe to all the nonsense you usually do. Links are in the description to Facebook, Twitch, background music playlist links, all that sort of nonsense. If you want to utilize those, they are links and resources for you to use, because that's what I decided to do for the videos. But other than that, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you know some people that might also like my content, I encourage you to share my videos around, and maybe encourage them to subscribe as well if they like the content that they see. Helping the channel grow its subscriber and viewership base is the best way to show your support, and it helps encourage me to continue making content in the future, even though I take some rather lengthy breaks if I get really busy and bogged down with work and the fact that I am also in school for electrical engineering. So kind of really low on the time frame kind of nonsense stuff. But anyway, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching as usual. Thanks for watching as always. Thank you for your time. And as always, guys, take care.